all عايز يسند ظهره أو كذا, you can come here or here. So let's be all in one place, inshallah. You can get your chair, alhamdulillah. Quickly we start, inshallah. Sit down. We will look into the life of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam as we usually do, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sets him for us to be a role model. لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. So we will look into the life of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam to take this role model in one area, and this is love. This very word that's been used nowadays very much in context, out of context. We see it's used for good purposes and bad purposes. Let's go back to look at the life of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam and see how love was in the life of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The love of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is starting very early. If you talk about the grandfather, if you talk about the uncle, from the very beginning, he spent time with all of these. He spent time with his grandfather, Abdul Muttalib, and he loved him very much, and his grandfather loved the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam very much. And then his grandfather passed away, he moved to his uncle, Amr, Abu Talib, and he loved him very much. And he was so much affected when he passed away, when his uncle passed away, even though he passed away as non-Muslim. But you can see what we are focusing on now is not in the da'wah, is in the social dimension of, you know, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam being the loving person, the human being, the perfect human being. It was his uncle. Can we close the door, please? It was his uncle that gave him that support, even way before the da'wah. You can imagine, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam lost his father even before he comes to life. He lost his mother sometime soon after that. He lost his grandfather, and it was his uncle since he was 8 up until he grew up. He literally grew up with his uncle. That's the father figure for him. And his uncle has a lot of children, but he loved the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He had a special love for him, and the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam had a special love for him. And you see that very clear when Abu Talib would abandon, would go against all the tribal system, the tribal norms. When his nephew, Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is bringing a new religion, and he has to stand by himself against all Quraysh, and even if he was not even a Muslim, he did not believe in what Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam wrote, but still out of this relationship of love, you are my son, like my son, and you are like my father. That's how the relationship was, and that's why the year Abu Talib passed away, it was called the Am al-Huzn, the year of sorrow. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was very much sad, and you see that he lost his uncle and he lost his wife as well in the same year. And he was making dua to Allah, Allahumma inni ashku ilayka ضعف قوتي. Oh Allah, I complain to you my weakness, the helplessness, the case of helplessness that I'm going through right now. When he lost the most beloved people, and then he went to the other city of Ta'if and no response, and so on, as we all know. بل امتد حب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, love of the Nabi صلى الله عليه وسلم امتد إلى الجمادات. It was not only for humans, Muslims and non-Muslims, and close and far. We know that he was so loving, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is something we don't usually look at, that he loved things, and things love him. Give me examples. We all know the examples. Give me an example. Al-Jidh, yeah, the trunk of the tree. Haneen al-Jidh, a miracle that happened to the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam when he did not have a fancy member like we do right now. He just used to stand up giving the khutbah, the sermon for Friday, and there was just a little trunk of a tree that he used to lean against or put his hand on, a little form of, you know. But somebody, one of the carpenters, introduced the new member to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was a very humble one, very simple one, 3 steps, 3 stairs. And it was for the first Jum'ah that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is leaving the place where he had the trunk. Let's imagine this is the trunk of the tree. He used to stand here. And he left it and he is going to the new member. And the Sahaba was who's narrating that, who are saying that سَمِعْنَا خَنِينًا أو أَنِينًا كَأَنِينَ الطِّفْلِ. We heard some kind of, you know, when a little baby is kind of crying, not not really crying. What's the verb for that? What is the word? Huh? We're kind of weeping. So when the mother is abandoning him, when he wants some kind of hanan, hub, love, that's what happened. And everybody was hearing it in the masjid until the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam came back and he kind of, calmed it down and he said, by Allah, if I didn't come and do that, it would continue to do that up until the day of judgment. So that happened. That happened with al-jiddah. Do you know of other examples of things? Al-hajar, which hajar?
الحجر في مكة.
Al-hajar inni la a'rif. When Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, by Allah, I know of a stone, a specific stone, rock in Mecca, that, what is the end of the hadith? Every time he used to give him salam, right?
Yeah.
Every time I pass by this stone, the stone is giving me salam. Authentic hadith.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله.
He would say, peace, peace, salam alaikum, O Messenger of Allah. That's before he is a Messenger of Allah. That's how he is so loving that things around him would show love to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was not only objects, Ya Abdullah, taqillah shway. It was not only objects, it was even animals. Animals. You should start with animals first. Animals that loved the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam so much. And he loved the animals. He used to give them names. He dealt with them like not like just animals. We see people now, especially if animal becomes a part of life, farmers, it's not really, it's not a pet anymore. It's not something special. They hit it, we need to get the job done. No. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam would call his animal, with his camel, he had more than a camel. One of them is the most famous, al-qaswa. He would ride on al-qaswa. He would go, that's his car, his ride. And he is respecting it so much. So many times nowadays we do not respect our cars. You drive the car, you don't have any relationship with the car. Just go fast. No, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam would take it easy on al-qaswa. And then al-qaswa is kind of, Allah Jalla gives her direction somehow. We read and we see the story of al-hijrah. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam migrated. Everybody wants to take him, Ya Rasulullah. Somebody would say, and he's right, he said, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam had uncles. His maternal relationship in Medina, in Bani Najjar. They would call him, they come to us, family members. Now, this and that, Abu Ayyub, until the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, everybody was trying to take the camel by the rope. And he said, دعوها فإنها مأمورة. Leave her, leave the camel. The camel is being guided, ordered by Allah. The camel knows the specific place where it will sit down. That's later on. We didn't come to the humans yet. Later on, in was it Fath Mecca? When they came all the way to Mecca, right? They are coming. Nabi saw the dream. He is making tawaf around Kaaba, and the Sahaba with him. He interpreted the dream that we are going to make Umrah. After 8 years being away from Kaaba, whoever is ready, let's get ready and go make Umrah. He went all the way. And then at Mecca, few miles before Mecca, and Naqa Barakat. This camel, the she camel, sat down. They get her, same like what happened with Al-Fil, the elephant, a few years back. They get her back towards Medina, it would stand up, move. They get her right, which is east, fine. West, fine. But south, towards Mecca, no, sit down. And then everybody was saying what? Hadith fi Sahih fi Bukhari. Khala'at al-Qaswa, which is al-Qaswa becomes rebellious. Rebellious. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam would let it go? No, he wouldn't let it go. He said what? The famous sentence, look at it from the dimension of love. Wallahi, by Allah, ma khala'at. By Allah, it never gets rebellious. It didn't happen before. It's not rebellious now. وَمَا ذَاكَ لَهَا بِخُلُقٍ. And that's not the character of al-Qaswa. You can imagine, the hadith doesn't mention he raised his voice, but you can feel the tone. Everybody is saying, خَلَأَتِ الْقَصْوَى. Al-Qaswa is getting rebellious now, not listening to the order of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam to move. And the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you would feel it there. Wallahi, ma khala'at, wa ma dhaka laha biqul. By Allah, it does not get rebellious, and this is not the character of my animal. Like he's defending it out of love. And Al-Abba also has a story with the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, another camel. His love was literally everywhere. that you see the love of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is covering everything, literally everything around him, including his own city and town. City, when he was leaving Mecca, we all know the hadith. We're just now connecting the dots, putting everything together. He is leaving Mecca. Khalas. His family members, the people of Mecca, what did they do to him for the last 13 years? More than 10 years, 13 years. Doing what? He called him every kind of. He coming from a noble family of Quraysh. Called him a Sadiq al-Amin. He didn't do anything bad, nothing bad in his life. He was known to be the best of all the people. And now all of a sudden the entire Mecca shifted against him except for a few. They called him a sahir, magician, sorcerer, soothsayer, talking to this and that, liar. You're making it up. Asatir al-awwaleen. You're reading parables of the past. Make it. He didn't do any of that. They boycott him three years, not giving him food, not selling. So that's what he faced, along with so many other things. They hit him. They got the abdominal remainings of a camel and put it on his face and his back as he was praying. They did everything. They killed some of his friends. They tortured his family members. And then he still loves Mecca. You can imagine if that happened to anybody of us, he would probably leave. The first chance to leave this city, he would leave, and then he would even hate it for the rest of his life. But no, he turned to Mecca and he said, what did he say? Wallahi, by Allah again. He swears, it's not easy. Wallahi, innaki la ahabbu biladillahi ila Allah. By Allah, I know you are the most beloved city to Allah. And you are likewise for myself. He's down. I love you the most, Mecca. He's speaking to Mecca. Could you imagine that? Ya Rasulullah, you're speaking, who you're speaking to? No, that's my city, that's my town. I'm speaking to my town. Wallahi, you are the most beloved city to Allah, and you are the most beloved city to myself. And had it not been for the fact that your people kicked me out, pushed me out, derived me out, I would have never left you. He's speaking to Mecca like he's saying, oh my dear city, I'm not leaving you, it's not by my choice. It's just your people pushed me away. You see the love of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam in there. You see the love of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the non-believers, those who reject him. When soon before that, when he was rejected by the entire Mecca, he lost his uncle, he lost his wife, he moved to At-Ta'if. At-Ta'if, the bordering city, rejected him, and they even asked the kids and the foolish guys and mad people to stone him, and they stoned him, and he was bleeding, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was the drama there, you know, he's sitting almost crying, making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then Allah sent the angel of Al-Jibal. Ya Muhammed, Allah has seen what you have said to your people and what the people have replied. Allah has seen all of that. Ya Abdullah, ta'ala wait. So Allah has seen all of that and witnessed all of that. And now He sent me. I am at your order right now, at your service now. If you wish to fall the two Al-Akhshabayn, the two mountains of Mecca, so you will crush them in between, I would do so. And then what the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, we all know the story. No. No, you could easily say no when you are just now not suffering anything. But imagine you're suffering for the last 10 years or so. And they have done all of that to you. Yes. And you do it. Anybody else would say that? Do it. Let's get rid of those. Even prophets before that, Sayyidina Nuh, Rabbi. He said what? Rabbi. لا تذر على الأرض من الكافرين ديار. Sayyidina Nuh, he called these people, they didn't. He said, oh my Lord, do not leave on the face of earth anybody of those non-believers. Take them all. And Allah responded to him. The rain came, the flood, the great flood came and removed everything, all non-believers. But with the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, الذي ورحمة العالمين, mercy for mankind, it's not like this. He said no. إني لأرجو, I hope that Allah will bring from them a generation that would say La ilaha illallah, worship Allah alone, associating nobody with Him, out of love. That's love in the life of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's not what I want to focus on. We can talk about how much love he got for his friends, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq and so on. And how much he would talk about this friendship. He was a friend, they were intimate friends before Islam, way before Islam. He loved him so much. Abu Bakr, he came back. Your friend is calling for Islam, I believe in him. He came back again. Your friend is saying he went to Allah and came back, and he said, if he said, I believe in him. You see, the love is there, the trust. Two quick, close friends. When Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu came to know that the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to him after he got the permission of Hijrah, and he knew he's going to be with his friend in Al-Hijrah, he cried. Sayyidah Aisha said, well, by Allah, I never knew or witnessed or seen somebody crying out of happiness, except that day. I saw my dad crying, Abu Bakr. She said that in the hadith. Abu Bakr, my dad was crying when he's saying, As-suhba ya Rasulullah, we'll be together ya Rasulullah, we'll be friends even in Hijrah. He was crying out of happiness. So, and they, went together. But what I want to start with, or talk about, or focus on, is the love, the male-female love, in the life of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We see that very, very clear from the time of Khadija radiallahu anha. That's the way, the only one way for a male-female love, or man and woman love, to go. He got married at the age of 25. She was a little older than him. But we see for the next, 2 decades, almost 2 decades, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam lived with the Sayyidah Khadija, and she was the only love in his life. And they loved each other very much. Love that's based on not only of how cool he is, or how beautiful her features are. No, it's not only that. Sayyidah Khadija was known to be very, very, very beautiful. That everybody was proposing for her, and she didn't accept anybody because she was such a lady that is not looking at any person. No, she is looking at a special person. Kubara al-Qawm, the elite of Quraysh, proposed to her before the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She rejected until she chose Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She proposed. She asked. She got to talk to him indirectly, to let him know she is interested in him. They got married. He loved her very much. She loved him. Support was there. We see it. Snapshots. He got the risala. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam knew everybody is wrong. That's not right. What everybody is doing is not right. But he didn't reject that. He just didn't join them because he didn't know any other alternative but the deen of Ibrahim, which is not clear to him. He used to go worship in the mountains and far away until he got the mission from Allah. Iqra. You read. I can't read. Angel is talking to him. Angel. Jibreel. The archangel. One cry from Jibreel alayhi salam was enough to finish a city before that. That's how strong an angel is. And you can imagine now somebody in the middle of the desert just looking for the truth, not knowing he received the angel, Iqra, and so he was shivering. Ya ayyuhal muzammil, ya ayyuhal muddathir. Allah called him, oh you who is wrapping himself up, stand up and go for Allah. He came to know that there's something strong happening. But he came back to Sayyidah Khadija and he said, such and such happened to me, and I'm afraid, I don't know what's going on. She said, I don't know what is that, but what I'm sure of is that's not something bad. By Allah, nothing evil will happen to you. Why? And she gave him, you are a good person, you are a kind person, you support those who need support, you love those who need love. Anybody, literally, your guests, you're so good to your guests. Weak and poor people, you always help them. That's how love was there. He got his children from Khadija. Khadija passed away after a long time. He was so sad. Again, coming back to Am al-Huzn, the year of sorrow, that's when he lost his wife and his uncle as well. It was that, known to the historians, that year was known. It was very famous to be. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was sad in this year because he lost his loving wife, Sayyidah Khadija radiallahu anha. For the years after that, he would always remember Khadija. He got married to not only one lady or two ladies, so many ladies after that, including Aisha. Aisha was so beautiful and she was virgin and what have you. And he got to Maymuna and Safiya, Ummahat al-Mu'mineen jami'an. But still he was talking about Khadija, the first wife. Until Aisha radiallahu anha, she got jealous. Khadija, كأنه لم يكن في الدنيا إلا خديجة. You're always talking about Khadija as if nobody else, no other woman, you see no other woman but Khadija. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam again would not let it go by. No, by Allah. She believed in me when everybody rejected me. She supported me when everybody relinquished me. And he was talking, that's loyalty. Love and coming in the sense of loyalty. He's loyal. Your wife is gone, Ya Rasulullah. She's gone, she's dead. She with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, but I still love her and I'm loyal to that love. He would defend her, even though that could cause him trouble with the other wives. But no, you don't say that, because that's what happened. And Allah give me children from her and this and that. Every time he slaughtered a sheep or something, he would send to his friends to this and that, and he would send to the friends of Khadija, ex-wife. She passed away, Ya Rasulullah, but he knows those are the friends of my wife. One day Hala, the sister of Khadija, is coming, and he didn't see her for a long time, and she was knocking on the door and saying, he said, Allahumma ij'alha Hala. Oh Allah, make her Hala. He was like, so, you can imagine, you read the story, the hadith in Bukhari, you could see how Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is longing to anything that reminds him of Khadija. It's her sister. And he would send to her friends. That's how much love. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was not like, as you see in the movies, somebody who doesn't even know his job. What's his job? The entire movie from beginning to the end is about love. What's your job? Man, he doesn't have a job. Or that's not necessary. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was living this kind of romantic life, if you wish, but he was so extremely busy, giving da'wah, supporting other people, migrating from city to city, war after war, building a community, building masjid, a lot of tribes, having problems, community people having problems and coming to him. It was not like living that kind of fancy life, no. But still, he's busy. From Salatul Fajr, even before Fajr, Qiyamul Layl, and then Fajr, and then Adhkar, and then somebody coming to him, and then this and that. But still, extremely busy, but he still can find these chances to show love, alayhi salatu wassalam, with his family. Because some of us might say, we're busy now, we don't have this. I work like 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, more or less, I don't have time really for that. You imagine, like what you see in the movies, you have to have everything available and time, free time to show love. No, it's not like this. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was extremely busy. Yes, yet he showed life to everybody around him. Aisha radiallahu anha, we know, that's another story. He got married to a Sayyidah Aisha, and he was directed by Allah, this lady, this girl you get married to. And he would take care of her so much, and he would love her so much, and he would announce it. One day, we know the famous story, Amr ibn al-As is coming from a military dispatch. Amr ibn al-As is such a sharp, intelligent person. He's extremely intelligent. And he was winning. Imagine, Muslims are now in the process of building the state, the Muslim community. And now they win, sometimes they lose, sometimes they are in need of any winning to get established more and more. Amr, and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam sent him, he won. Which means like, he came back to Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and you could imagine, if I ask him anything, he would give it to me. He asked Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, man ahabbu an-nasi ilayka? Who is the most beloved person to you? Expecting him to give him what answer? To say what? Amr, you are. Yes, definitely you are Amr. You are the most beloved person to me. And he will take it. That's gonna, be like a certificate for him. That's in Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is saying. But he said, Ya Rasulullah, man ahabbu an-nasi ilayka? Who is the most beloved person to you? And what did the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam say? Aisha. He didn't even say my wife. He said Aisha. Simple. Then what's next? Who's next? pbuh, her father, Abu Bakr, my best friend. So this is how Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would announce it. You can imagine, the hadith is narrated, he's in the masjid, he's receiving not sure in the masjid, but it's a public place. He was in the masjid or outside receiving those who are coming, winning in front of everybody, the elite. And you say that in your word? Who do you love most? My wife. By name. That's what the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did. And he said, Aisha. And he would have race with her, as we all know. He would race with her. Yeah, Rasulullah, you're busy, you have this and that. Can you imagine, maybe some Sahaba would say that, but no, he's not. He would ask everybody to go one side, and then he would have the arena set, and he would have a race with her. He won. He's happy, I won the race. Years later, Sayyidah Aisha is narrating this, قالت فبعد أن حملت اللحم. After I become like overweight, like I gained more weight, and he said, that's years after that, he said, let's race. And he had a race with her, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and the first time she won, She won. Second time he won, and then what did he say? قال هذه بتلك. You remember? Tit for tat. You won. A few years back. Now I win. He remembers it. He's trying to make everybody around him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, having good time and so on. And one day, Sayyidah Aisha أيضا, he was telling her the hadith of Abu Zar. He gave some stories. Amongst them is a story of somebody who was good to his wife. He gave some details. He was good to his wife, and he said, كنت لك كأبي زرع لأم زرع. I was to you like, I believe it was to you like Abu Zar this man was to his wife. And she said, Ya Rasulullah, بل أنت خير لي من أبي زرع. You are even better than this man in the story. He was good to his wife. You are even better than that, Ya Rasulullah. That's what he. In some hadith, the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam at night time prayed Isha. He had some time, maybe he doesn't feel like he would like to sleep. Sometimes he would take his wife and walk around, just go hang around for a while. Not just wasting time, but just some time. And he would take a Sayyidah Khadija sometimes, walk with her, according to some hadith. In the hadith also, you could say probably yes, he was directly asked, who do you love? I love my wife. But look at the touches, the gestures, if you wish, the gestures of love. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we all know this hadith as well. Sayyidah Aisha, she drank from a cup, not a bottle. They didn't have bottles back then. She drank from the cup, and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam would take the cup and keep looking, turning it around until he gets to a certain spot and he's drinking from it. She knew he was looking for the same spot that she drank from, to give her this gesture that love is there. And she was in the menstruation, in the menses this time. And usually women, when they have the period, they are kind of psychologically, they need that love and support. So that's what he did, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. قالت كنت أشرب فأناوله النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فيضع فاه على موضع في وأتعرق العرق فيضع فاه على موضع في. يعني تشرب فيضع. رواه مسلم. His Muslim. She drinks. He looks for the same spot. And
العرق اللي هو الفخذ القوي تتعرق العرق يعني تاكل مكان.
صحيح. نعم. So he eats, she drinks, she eats, he would do the same thing. Show her that kind of gesture of love. صلى الله عليه وسلم. وكان يتكل في حجري وأنا حائض. He would, insist to purposefully, she is sitting, she has menses and everything. Yes, the full relationship can happen, but he would lean on her, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, sleep, put his head on her lap or lean into her lap. That happens. وكان أيضا إذا كان بالليل سار مع عائشة يتحدث. Sometimes at night, that's في البخاري. Sometimes at night he would take Aisha for a walk and talk, just to talk. And sometimes she would make fun, say something, and he would laugh, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She said one day, Ya Rasulullah, صلوا عليه اللهم صل عليه أرأيت لو نزلت واديا وفيه شجرة أكل منها ووجدت شجرة لم يؤكل منها في أيها كنت ترتع بعيرك؟ قال في التي لم يرتع فيها. تعني أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لم يتزوج بكرا غير عائشة. She said, Ya Rasulullah, what do you think if you come to a valley, you have your animals, sheep or something, and you came to a valley and there are some pastures that was not touched. Another kind of pasture on the other side that somebody already got his animals and it's already been pastured in before. Which one do you choose? He said, definitely I would go for the one that was nobody touched before. And he would laugh, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She is referring to that I am the only virgin woman that you get married to, and he would take it, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and laugh. That's not in front of anybody, just to him. He would help her, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Later, after he passed away, she was asked, Ya Aisha, Ya المؤمنين, يعني what? ما كان النبي يصنع في أهله. When the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is alone with you, what did he do? Tell us this, thing. When he's out inside with you, what would he do? قالت كان يكون في مهنة أهله. She said just a few words. He would always support or help his family, his household. He would support them. sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وكان يمتدحها. Women need that. He used to praise her. He used to say فضل عائشة على سائر النساء كفضل الثريد. على سائر الطعام. He would say Aisha, the tharid is a special kind of food, known, very special to Arabs, and he said Aisha is such favorable over everybody else, just like this kind of food, tharid, is favorable over any other kind of food. And he would say many times, إِنِّي رُزِقْتُ حُبَّهَا, I've been given love of that's about Khadija. So he would announce, he would keep announcing, I love Khadija, I love Aisha, in other forms, in different forms. He would say it, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He would kiss, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the kind of romantic way, even while fasting. Hadith في Muslim أيضا كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقبل وهو صائم. He would kiss his wife. He was coming out, getting in. He would kiss his wife. That kind of kiss that shows, a symbol of love. Even while fasting, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, people knew that. Everybody knew that he loves Aisha very much. That if they had any gift, have to give him any gift, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they would wait for the day of Aisha, because they knew he loved her. So, and they knew that, and everybody was bringing his gift to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam on that day. And the other wives, they were kind of not happy when this happened. But he said, well, I mean, what can I do? What can I, people bringing me gifts, I cannot, assign them the dates to give me gifts. So the point is, everybody around him, everybody in the community knew that he loved Aisha radiallahu anha more than anybody else, and there's nothing wrong with that. والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ما ضرب امرأة قط ولا عبدا قط إلا أن يكون في سبيل الله. ما ضرب رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم امرأة له قط. He never hit his wife صلى الله عليه وسلم أبدا, never, ever. Not even those who are serving him, even though many times they would make mistakes. He didn't do that, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Except if it's for fi sabilillah in the battlefield, that's a different story. But people with him, he never did that, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وكان يواسيها مرة السيدة صفية رضي الله عنها. She was riding on a camel, and they were in a travel. فأبطأت المسير. The camel was so slow. You can imagine, we're driving together, and then one camel is causing the entire, they travel together as a caravan. So one camel is lagging behind her. She's going very slow, and that's the camel of Safiya. And everybody's kind of waiting for her. Hurry up, let's go. You can imagine, and after a while, this is a lady, and she's causing trouble to everybody. That's what the situation is. But she couldn't do anything. She was crying. She started crying. I can't do anything. And she said, فاستقبلها رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وهي تبكي وتقول حملتني على بعير بطيء فجعل رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يمسح بيديه عينيها ويسكتها. رواه النسائي. So she was crying, and she said, Ya Rasulullah, you give me a slow ride, a slow camel, and that's embarrassing me, causing a lot of trouble for me. And she was crying, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all he did is he wiped off the tears from her face, and he said, calm down, no problem. He would take the food and put it in the mouth of his wife sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a beautiful touch and a beautiful gesture. He would bring, his wife whatever they want. He would trust his wife and urge us to trust our wife. That's what builds love. Trust is in there. حتى أنه صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول أو ينهى أن يطرق الرجل أهله ليلا. If you are traveling and coming back, you don't come at night, all of a sudden like that. And he would do what? قال أو يلتمس عثراتهم. وقال in another hadith, if you are coming back from a travel, you have to let them know. Let them know حتى تمتشط الشعثة واستحد المغيبة وكذا. So, if she's not ready, she would take time to comb her hair. She knows now that you are far away. That's before the cell phones. It's not easy if you are coming back. It's not easy that you send somebody. That means you have to wait at the borders of the town or something, or send a special person to tell them, what, your husband is coming. But that's what the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam did. It's easy nowadays. I'm just 5 miles from, or maybe half an hour from Panama City or something. That's the sunnah. So she's normal when she's alone. She might look not excellent or something, just alone. But if she knows that you are coming, she will be prepared and take care of herself. That's what the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam is even paying attention to. وكان يتفكه من خصام زوجاته أحيانا. A kind of funny story. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, you wouldn't imagine that this kind of fun is going on in the life of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sayyida Aisha and Sauda, one of them was visiting the other. Let's say it was the night of Aisha radiallahu anha. He had a night for every wife. And then Sauda is coming to visit, all of them just next to one another. Another wife of the Prophet ﷺ. He got married to Sauda even before Aisha. And Sauda was very old. And Nabi got married to her, she was old, kind of old. And Aisha was the youngest of his wives ﷺ. And you could imagine, and they are all eating dinner together, and Nabi ﷺ in the middle, Aisha's here, Sauda's here. And Aisha is talking to Sauda. She's offering her food. She said, eat, why didn't you eat? She said, I'm not hungry. She said, go ahead and eat. Durra, yani, that's, no. She said, eat. 2-3 times she didn't eat. She got the food, and guess what? She put it in her face. She put the food in her mouth and the face, the entire face. When Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam yadhak, and Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is laughing. And what did Sauda do? She did the same thing. Well, maybe you say israf, but it was not happening all the time. Yani. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is laughing. She is, offering her food, and she said, no, I'm not hungry, so eat, go ahead and eat. That's what happened. فقال دخلت علي زينب وهي غضبة فقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم دونك فانتصري. That was another story other than what happened between Aisha and Sauda radiallahu anhuma. Every time he's traveling, even for war or something, he makes sure one of his wife is with him, taking turns into that. وكان يكنيها. He used to respect her, Abdullah, even though she did not have babies or anything, but that was a way of respect. He would respect her sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. مرة يقول لها يا عائش, giving her a little nickname to spoil her. مرة يعني عبد الله and so on. اللهم صل على سيدنا. نعم.
عبد الله بن الزبير ابن أخته.
That's right. So he used to respect her, that he would يعني دعوة الرجل أو حتى المرأة بالكنية عند العرب فيها احترام يعني, to show respect and to show love. He would make sure that she had fun and everything. One day الأحباش كانوا يلعبون بالحراب في مسجد النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, day of Eid. And those African people, they playing with the spears in the masjid of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and having all of these skills and tricks and things. And she was very fascinated to see that. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you can imagine, he's not really like attracted to that. And he would ask her, he would covering her, she's behind him, putting her chin and the shoulder of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and watching. Every time he would shake, are you done? He said, no, let's spend more time. So he would make sure that she's having fun, she's satisfied, everything is okay. Until she is done, she said, yes, I'm done. He said, okay, let's go. That's what the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would do. The hadith that I was quoting, عن عائشة رضي الله عنها قالت زارتنا سودة يوما فجلس رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم بيني وبينها إحدى رجليه في حجري والأخرى في حجرها, يعني crisscross, and she's sitting here, the other is sitting there, very close. قال فعملت لها حريرة, a kind of food she cooked. فقالت, يعني she cooked it for her. This is a visitor, but not any visitor. This is durra, يعني. She really is not very much welcome, but we have to offer some food. That's what Aisha did. فقلت كلي, and I said, go ahead and eat. فأبت. فقلت لتأكلي. I said, go ahead and eat. You will eat. فقلت لتأكلي أو لألطخن وجهك. You better eat, or I take this food and put it in your face and make you eat by force. فأبت فأخذت من القصعة شيئا فلطخت به وجهها فرفع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم رجله من حجرها لتستقيد مني. And Nabi صلى الله عليه وسلم took back, he retreated a little bit so she would do the same thing to her. He's out of this thing, he's not there, out of this game. فأخذت من القصعة أو فأخذت من القصعة شيئا فلطخت به وجهي ورسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يضحك. رواه النسائي. فهذا فيه إشاعة الدفء, يعني that used to happen. Sometimes it would happen in the life of the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. يعني if you look at his life alayhi wasallam, how he's good, how he is to everybody around him, friends, youngsters, old people, his wives, and even animals, his town and city, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He was a loving person, alayhi wasallam. Even though he was involved in all of these important matters, but he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam would love Zayd ibn Haritha, and even his son Usama, they would be known to be حب رسول الله وابن حب رسول, very dear to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that everybody around him would also call him the most beloved person to Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He would love Fatima radiallahu anha, his daughter, and every time she comes he kissed her on her forehead, and he would make her sit in the best place. He would love Al-Hasan or Hussein, that one day he would leave the khutbah. Friday, they come in, and they are kind of, Al-Hasan is kind of having a hard time walking. He would come down and take him, and that's how much he loved everybody around him عليه الصلاة والسلام. فيعني الناحية معنا إن شاء الله بالحب, let's highlight this kind of love in our life for our families, kids, friends, everybody around us, just like him صلوات الله وسلامه عليه. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على عبدك ورسولك المصطفى ونبيك المجتبى سيدنا محمد. اللهم احشرنا معه كما آمنا به ولم نره يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعلنا ممن اهتدى بهديك. Oh Allah, make us take the guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and implement it in our life. Make us live with love. Make us love everybody around us for your sake, Ya Rabb al-Alameen. Just like the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam did with everybody around him. Allahumma salli wa sallim wa barik ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Jazakumullahu khairan. I love you for the sake of Allah.